sincere thanks to Banyan for asking me to be here and participate whatever we are doing in Calcutta. But my level of stress has gone up enormously from the morning.
Please keep the mic.
Yeah, my level of stress has gone up enormously from the morning, especially by the last four speakers. Vandana has covered almost all the questions that I had in mind to raise. While Harsh was speaking, I was having a sense of deja vu because of the same experience that he is having in Delhi and I was having in Calcutta. And Arian and her colleague, what they are doing is almost a total replica of what we are doing in Calcutta in Ishakal. Anyway, I'll rapidly go through the slides and then in between I will try to raise a few questions. Observations. One is, I have shown a few faces in my slides. I had a lot of inner conflict about showing these slides. And then he decided for a person for whose life is, every square inch of his life is exposed to public scrutiny. So the concept of this concept or not is something ridiculous with this person. So I said, okay, I'll go ahead. Another question that Anup raised yesterday is, while we are talking about community psychiatry, what exactly we mean by community? I feel that when we are talking about community psychiatry, we are discussing about three different entities. One is we, meaning mental health professionals and activists. Second, you who have a problem. And three, community is something out there. I think it is not the three different entities, it is the same entity we are talking about because I am the community of this person. So it is not just this person who happens to be on the street, it is I who am on the street. And it is the same community that we are talking about. Oh, sorry for the voice. This is the story of another person. The slides are almost self-explanatory, I don't have to say much about it. Some of you will remember Dr. K.L. Narayanan. He was one of our closest friends and we started work together. So this is what was done with this particular person and this is how she is now. We started with the baseline survey of the city and we identified about 466 persons who were mentally ill and homeless. I am not going into the details. These are the numbers. I am very poor in maths, but somehow numbers sanctify scientific findings. So I have to give these things. This number sanctification is something that if we had time to discuss about that. This is how we go ahead with our work. We have started an emergency response system with the police. Whenever they find someone loitering in the streets, they inform us. We reach there. We start doing an initial survey and initial assessment. If needed, we'll go for hospitalization. We'll go for follow-ups. And if possible, we restore the person to the family. This is the general line. Our basic mode of activity is starting from airport building, it goes on like this. What we are trying to do is just what Tarun was talking. Most of our contact persons are still living in the street. We try to contact persons who were already taking care of this person. If a mentally ill homeless person survives in the street somehow, that person must be having some kind of resource. We want to tap that resource which is already there. And for most of the people, we find someone may be a local panwala, maybe a local owner of a local shop, maybe a darwan of a mall there. So these people usually take care of the ill person in terms of food, in terms of general care, in terms of shelter. We just add the medicine part and help the contact person, at times with money, at times with food, whatever we can. And we have been successful in this sense for around about 60 to 70% till now. Some of our successes were through the media. This is a very interesting and nice story. We are organizing a camp in one of the local clubs where from the nearby locality of around 2 or 3 square kilometers, mentally ill persons were brought there. They were given bath, haircut if necessary, a set of clothes, and initial psychiatric assessment, but not medicines at that stage. So the paper was covering this, and the picture came out on the next day's paper. On the third day, the father saw this paper, contacted the newspaper office, was redirected to us, and the third day the boy was back at home. So media is not really always media have a lot of politics. This is one of the caregivers. This person, he runs a small tea shop, and this person in his shop. And now, with recovery, this person is working in the shop, the same shop, same person, and gets a monthly allowance. Another thing, I think it is unique in the whole world. We have all heard of drop-in centers are near the drug addiction and other places. We have formed a drop-in center in a police station. The police people have given a space to run a drop-in center where we get the mentally ill persons who are living in the streets. Every morning our ambulance makes a round, picks up these persons, they come to the drop-in center. They have their bath, they have their food, they cook themselves. We just give the raw material. They stay there till around 5 or 6, then they are again taken back to the streets. Next morning they come back. This is one of the questions. We are actually planning to open another drop-in center in another part of the city. This is how we got the ambulance. Ambulance was gifted to us by the Calcutta Corporation. This is one of the emergency response victims. This is another interesting story. These pictures are taken before we had any contact with this lady. She was the army officer's wife. At her home in Calcutta, we found her in this. And now she is taken back.
Please show them here.
It's almost unbelievable. I can believe not that it can be the same person. This was the media report of that day. So we have to tell our stories of failure. This lady was found in one of the Calcutta streets. She was with us for more than 6 to 7 months. She refused to go back home. We knew her address. She told us our address, but categorically told that I won't go back. With medication, she was improving. And with improvement, probably one of the first signs of improvement is taking care of personal hygiene. And taking care of personal hygiene makes the lady, to say brutally, sexually active. She was gang raped and she died. This girl, I will say girl, she is probably not more than 18 years old, was found. When we found her, she had delivered just half an hour back. She was in blood. Placenta was still attached inside, and the baby was not found. It was taken out. And through her treatment, there was a long session of grief that I have lost the baby. And obviously, as her said, the baby was probably brought up a rape incident. But that was a long walk to walk with this. She probably has at least borderline mental retardation. So in that situation, and she has psychosis, she has all these after effects of long-term psychosis and long-term homelessness. And over and above that, she had a grief for a lost child. We have started a night shelter This night shelter was also given to us by Calcutta Corporation. Our plan is to, this is how it's going on now. At present, we have 20 persons living there. Our plan is to go up to 100 beds. And I would say beds, in that sense, bed is a very hospital and clinical word. 100 persons will be accommodated there. Half of them will be mentally ill person, and half of them will be not mentally ill, homeless person. And we refuse to make any kind of segregation here. Every